Is gold beating inflation? What is inflation? Inflation is a most interesting thing where many don't seem to be able to agree. But if one look at the practical, physical event that takes place with inflation, then in essence, prices are inflated. They are risen. So you take something of value like gold, and then the price rise, and if the price beat inflation, you make a profit. And the overall inflation is the overall rate that prices were inflated. Imagine without inflation, you could not get a rise in your income. There won't be more money in the world, because it's not really that you are having more money, you are actually inflating the prices so that there is more money and you employ more people, but the value, the real actual value of the stuff diminish. Now there's obviously this whole story that gold apparently can beat inflation. Let's look at that. Let's come to the end of fossil fuel. What is your gold worth now? Because your life is worth nothing. And at the moment, if there's more value placed in gold than there is in life. So, what are we looking at? Yes. Gold inflated? Obviously. Is all goods in this world inflated? That's the point of capitalism. You inflate something, you make it such a big balloon, it's actually such a big pot of baloney, then you get somebody to believe in it and to give their hard-earned labor money for you, because the labor was real. You see, labor should be worth something, because that's real action. But it's also worth nothing because it's all about the big baloney, the capitalistic baloney. What is baloney? Baloney is bullshit dressed up as beauty. And when that is done, you end up with inflation, because it's the whole story of the salesman selling ice to an Eskimo. It is all deception. We know that. You know when you look at an advert that you are being deceived, that your perception is being warped, you are being brainwashed, yet you look and then you see, is that brainwashing cool? Do I like it? And then you end up buying it. That brainwashing is happening every single day in every single home in the world virtually, where your perception, your decision is being molded, is being inflated so that you end up buying something. Your capital value is in your capacity to buy. And to do that, you obviously want to have as many people as possible having little things that you can inflate value for, selling it to as many people as possible, so that you can have a lot with which you can spend and inflate your value, your life value. But that life value isn't real. That life value is based on a capitalistic system, one where money is the power, where wealth is power, not life. That wealth is not based on the real substance that makes life possible on earth. Unless we get back to reality about what it is that actually constitutes life, and we value that, and we stop inflating other things to be perceived as more valuable than life, we are facing a major catastrophe. In the research to the portal, we have found that we have done this 11 times before, where we destroyed everything. And we started with nothing again. We just don't get it. We're on the way very soon to reach the point of no return, which will be the 12th time. you won't remember, because the you that's here now isn't the real you that you could be, and the real you that you could be do not exist yet, because you have to create it. So there is nothing but what is here on this earth now, and all the bullshit that's made up in the mind, all the inflated stories of heaven and love and light. You see, that's all inflation. That's all part of this whole energy game. Inflation. That's spiritual inflation. I have a better spirituality than yours, because my light is brighter and my love is bigger. It's all inflation. It's all part of this whole consumerism, capitalistic system. I have capital value because I have love. I am divine. I am love and light moving. Yes, you have inflated your story. If you were self-honest, you'll see it was all inflation. But there is no self-honesty in the world, so we have a lot of inflation happening. People trying to build capital value that they can sell to others. It's also a survival game, this love and light story. But you're going to be consumed by your own dishonesty. Again. How many times will it happen? You won't even remember next time. Because the you that now exists as you don't even understand how it is actually created. There is so little common sense. There is so little real truth that it is amazing that you don't get it. But everything is so inflated. It's such a lot of baloney that the bubble is so big that you believe it can never burst, and that you have transcended. You have ascended. Yes, you have ascended your ass again to the ultimate destruction. It's all here right in front of you. Will you get it this time? I suggest you watch the following documentary, The Age of Stupid. And if you are stupid enough to watch the documentary called Home, remember that home was made to make sure you'll do nothing about the information, that you will not change, that you will believe that the human race is doing enough. So don't watch Home, because The Age of Stupid is better than Home. Home was made by corporations and their employees. It's part of the great baloney, the big balloon of inflation, where shit has been inflated, where the actions taken by humanity is inflated as if it'll make any real difference. It won't. So watch The Age of Stupid, because that gives you a bit more specific, reasonable common sense to come to an actual real-time valid conclusion without inflation. Get to know what is inflation. Inflation is to tell a lie, and it already is part of our psychology that the average person will tell 3 lies every 10 minutes. That's the inflation. That's how you are inflating your ego. That's how you are inflating your value. And that value has got no value, but because it cannot face death, it cannot face truth, it cannot face the end, because it was inflated. So when self is inflated and not based on truth, you get ego. Get back to the physical. Make sure there's no inflation. Make sure that 1 drop of water equals 1 drop of water. 1 breath equals 1 breath. 1 life equals 1 life. 1 stone equals 1 stone. 1 dust equals 1 dust. Then you're in real time. 1 day equals 1 day. And work according to real values. Don't inflate values, because, as you've already proven, you get completely lost in this. And once you're lost, that's it. Who's going to find you and bring you back? Because your lostness is not that you are no longer here. It is that you are in you, no longer here. That means you're in the illusion that you've created yourself. It's very difficult to challenge yourself if you're not present to challenge yourself. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You're screwed and screwed because there's no way you can hear. Therefore you can't get back to life here because you're in an energy world where only you are God. But you're the ultimate deceptive God. You're the ultimate evil because you only think about yourself. You do not consider your neighbor. And you will lie in every way possible. You'll inflate everything. And then even have the audacity to say that it is the truth. It is your truth and you have the right to such truth. Yes, you are free to choose. Choose inflation. And it'll give you a temporary high. It's like a drug. But it'll wear off. And when the balloon bursts and you're up in the sky high and you have to drop back to earth, you won't survive the fall. That's the fall of man. From the bubble, from the inflation, back to earth. Wonderful, isn't it? Join us at Destiny if you are ready to challenge your illusions, your delusions. Join us with equal money if you're ready to stop the inflation and become self-honest. You've got to end this. It cannot continue. Join us.